I have a hearing family. My mother is a hearing person, and she learned to sign, so she was able to communicate with me. And through her, I received access to the world. She made me realize that the world didn't stop because I shifted my attention somewhere else. My mother was always interpreting for me, constantly, to the point where sometimes I would just tell her, okay, enough, Mom, too much information, enough, stop. And that was one thing I really liked about being deaf, is because I can decide when I want to turn the world off. I think my mother would be the big factor, and her constant presence in my life, specifically making sure that I got everything that I needed for my education. I'm a family man. I have a wife. I have an almost 2-year-old son. His first language is ASL, which is funny because my first language was Spanish, and then English, and then ASL. So for him, it's the other way around. We started with ASL with him. My mother speaks to him 100% in Spanish and only in Spanish. So I'm assuming that he's picking that up, and I'm assuming that he's picking up English through social experiences. My wife and I met in college. Gallaudet is the only liberal arts university in the world that is for deaf people. If I took Gallaudet out of my timeline, that would be like cutting off my arms. It's part of who I am. I think that is where I really grew as a person. It's where I really embraced my identity as a deaf man. It's a place where we find ourselves. It's where we come across opportunities for growth. And for me, that happened at Gallaudet. Growing up, I always knew I was deaf. But I had always felt kind of different from the other people. And that was a hard thing for me to accept. Also, given that I was growing up in a hearing family, so when I got to Gallaudet, it gave me some distance from my family in order to establish myself as my own person. All of those experiences, they helped me become more comfortable with my deafhood, or my deaf being deaf. I don't view myself as being different. I just see myself as being me. I've learned that it's the world that needs to accept that difference, just as it has been accepting of many other minorities.